rested. All the flavors left in the steak, the porterhouse. Why is it the king? Because in this steak, you get to taste 2 cuts of meat. The New York strip, sirloin side, and the filet mignon, tenderloin side. A 3-inch, 4 to 5 pounds, give or take. It's somewhere between 4 and 5 pounds, okay? Now, I like to cut this off the bone and cook the pieces separate. The filet mignon side, it's much more tender and it cooks much faster compared to the New York strip side, which obviously, number one, it's bigger, and number two, the meat is more dense. So the heat cannot penetrate through the meat as fast. So I like to cut this off the bone. So I like to get a perfect crust on this. But the bone, we're still gonna use it. It's still delicious. So we're gonna take the filet mignon part and I'm gonna tie it, because filet mignon, as it cooks, starts to expand. Normally, if I didn't tie this, after it's cooked, it would spread out. The New York strip side, sirloin side, does not need to be tied. There's no ends. We want to keep this just the way it is. Now, the most important part of the porterhouse for the cooking process is the seasoning. Now, we have a lot of meat here, okay? So you want to really season it generously, because you're only going to taste it on the outside. You have 3 inches of meat that has no salt on it. So it's important that you really season this both sides really, really well, okay? And I like to just let this sit for at least 15 minutes so the salt really gets into the meat. We're also going to put pepper. So on this porterhouse, there is a lot of fat that I've trimmed off. So I use the fat that I cut off as the oil to cook the meat. So it's cooking literally in its own fat. And that really adds a lot of flavor to the steak. As my meat is resting with the salt and pepper on it, I'm gonna start a little bit of a garlic confit, which is garlic that we're gonna cook in olive oil, very low. It's gonna become really soft. There's no more pungent. It actually becomes very, very sweet. So we're gonna put this in this cast iron pan. Olive oil, we just wanna cover it and add some fresh sprigs of rosemary. And we're just gonna gently let this simmer. The magic, it's about to happen. Beef tallow, here goes the sizzle. You don't need much, just enough to cover the whole cast iron pan. And that's the sizzle you wanna hear when you're making a delicious steak. Right now, we are building the crust on high. As you can see right here, we've already started to build a little bit of a light amber colored crust. All right, we're gonna flip it now. That's perfect, see? Look at that color. 3 minutes per side on high to build up that crust, and then we're gonna lower the temperature because the cast iron pan will retain that heat, because you don't wanna scorch it. Even if you cook this just to fragrance your kitchen, you can't go wrong. I love that sound of the sizzle. So now we're just gonna lower the temperature. And this is where we start to develop that crust. I took the bone out and let it rest. Now we are gonna put the porterhouse in the oven. With that porterhouse, we're gonna make a delicious broccoli rabe. So I'm gonna slice a few, 2, 3, of the fresh garlic. We don't need a lot of garlic because we already have the garlic infused oil. That's, I think we don't need more than this. So we're gonna put a little bit of this olive oil in here. Fresh garlic. I always love a few chili flakes. We've already blanched this broccoli rabe for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna cut these smaller pieces. We're gonna do a quick saute here. There you go. The sound of the sizzle. Salt, pepper. Okay, you're all done. Simple. So we are gonna take the filet out now and let this rest. We want all the juices to go back to where they belong. We wanna cut this at room temperature. We're gonna put now this cast iron pan, I'm gonna get it warm. We're gonna put the broccoli rabe on the bottom because it'll stay nice and warm. We're just gonna let this rest here now. Look at that beautiful crust. That is beautiful. Just beautifully cooked. No juices are coming out. Well rested. All the flavors left in the steak. Perfect. We're gonna put this on here. We're not done yet, because my favorite part is finishing this off with butter. That garlic that we had in the oil is amazing. We're gonna brown this up just a little bit, add a little flavor in here, and this really tops it off. We're gonna put a little sprig over here of the thyme. We are gonna pour this sizzling butter on the steak and place these beautiful cloves of garlic all over. Just amazing. The king of steaks, porterhouse for two, done the cast iron way.